The Sit Bardo represents the final stage of transition in the journey through the Bardos, culminating in the momentous choice of a new existence. At this stage, the soul, having already passed through the states of dissolution in the Chai Bardo and the projections of the Chid Bardo, faces a critical moment, the selection of its next life. This choice is not a conscious deliberation but a deep, instinctual process driven by the accumulated energy of karma, actions, thoughts, and intentions from all past lives. These karmic tendencies act like invisible threads, pulling the soul toward conditions that mirror its unresolved emotions, fears, and desires. In the Sit Bardo, the desire for rebirth intensifies. This longing, fueled by attachments and the inability to fully detach from illusions, compels the soul to seek a new form. Tibetan Buddhism teaches that this phase is not merely an arbitrary journey but a direct consequence of the emotional and psychic imprints the soul carries. Fear may propel the soul into challenging circumstances, while unfulfilled desires may anchor it to lives filled with similar patterns. The process reflects the intrinsic law of cause and effect, where every soul is drawn to experiences aligned with its inner state. During the Sit Bardo, the soul begins to perceive vivid, symbolic visions associated with the rebirth process. Among these are often images of couples in union, metaphors for the creation of life and the emergence of a new physical form. The soul's karmic inclinations and psychic state serve as magnets, guiding it toward specific visions and ultimately toward a particular rebirth. These visions are not random. They mirror the deep-seated energies and unresolved aspects within the soul. If the soul is overwhelmed by attachment or fear, it may gravitate toward an unfavorable rebirth that perpetuates suffering and cyclical existence. However, the Bardo Thodol offers guidance for transcending these patterns. It emphasizes maintaining a state of detachment and clarity even amidst the intense pull of rebirth. By recognizing the transient nature of these visions and understanding them as manifestations of the mind, the soul can resist the instinctive drive to reincarnate under karmic influence. For practitioners trained in life to detach from desires and illusions, this stage presents a final opportunity for liberation, bypassing the need for rebirth altogether. The Sit Bardo encapsulates the Buddhist philosophy that rebirth is not an inevitability but a choice shaped by one's mental state and spiritual preparation. As the soul feels the overwhelming draw to embody a new form, it experiences what is described as a psychic storm, a vortex of emotions and impulses. This storm is the soul's own mind striving to project its inner state into a physical existence, reflecting the karmic debts and lessons yet to be resolved. The process of choosing a new body is deeply instinctual and often unconscious, with the characteristics of the next life mirroring the soul's accumulated karmic patterns. For most beings, this process results in rebirth within the cycle of samsara, where suffering and growth coexist. Yet, for those who maintain detachment, the Sit Bardo offers the chance to transcend this cycle and merge into the clear light of ultimate truth, the pure essence of the mind. Preparation for this critical moment begins in life. Through meditation, reflection, and cultivating detachment from desires, one can develop the mental clarity needed to navigate the Bardos with awareness. The teachings of the Bardo Thodol understand that liberation is possible even at the threshold of rebirth. By embracing the emptiness of all visions and desires, the soul can break free from the illusion of a fixed identity and enter a state of enlightenment, free from the bonds of birth and death. In the final stage of the Sit Bardo, the soul confronts a reflection of all its actions, thoughts, and desires. This moment is the culmination of the earlier stages, where every decision influences the shaping of the next life path. The visual images arising in consciousness are projections of its inner needs and fears. For example, attachments to material possessions or unfulfilled desires may steer the soul toward a rebirth where those attachments continue to dominate. It is crucial to understand that these forces do not come from external sources, but from within, shaped by the soul's accumulated karma. The teachings of the Bardo Thodol emphasize that death and subsequent rebirth are not random occurrences but natural processes governed by the habits and energies of the mind. The soul, caught in a state of psychic turbulence, feels a strong pull towards certain images that resonate with its state of being. This choice is often unconscious, highlighting the importance of spiritual practices during life to prepare for this critical juncture. For those capable of consciously confronting the images of the Sit Bardo, there lies a chance to transcend the cycles of rebirth. The visions that emerge at this moment not only offer the choice of a body, but also provide the opportunity for complete liberation from material existence. A soul that recognizes the nature of these images as illusory can maintain clarity of mind, avoiding unconscious entanglement in a new birth. However, this is a formidable challenge for most beings. The Bardo Thodol teaches that deep-seated fears and attachments are the primary barriers to liberation. These attachments, whether to peaceful or wrathful visions, bind the soul to the cycle of samsara. By cultivating detachment and recognizing the emptiness of all phenomena, the soul can move beyond the illusions of identity and form. In this final phase, the Sit Bardo reflects the central tenet of Tibetan Buddhism. The nature of rebirth is not a predetermined fate, but a manifestation of the soul's mental state and spiritual preparation. The psychic storm that arises during this stage is an intense struggle within, as the soul's instincts drive it toward a new existence. The karmic imprints, or tendencies, act as a guide, determining the conditions of the next life and shaping the lessons and challenges it will encounter. For most souls, the overwhelming pull of rebirth is nearly irresistible. However, the teachings of the Bardo Thodol offer a pathway to avoid this outcome. By cultivating awareness and detachment during life, practitioners prepare their minds to navigate the Sit Bardo with clarity and intention. This preparation enables the soul to transcend its karmic tendencies and merge into the clear light, the ultimate state of being. Spiritual readiness during life is vital. Meditation, mindfulness, and understanding the nature of impermanence strengthen the capacity for detachment. Through such practices, the mind can approach death as a natural transition rather than a source of fear. Those who succeed in maintaining lucidity through the Sit Bardo attain enlightenment, freeing themselves from the cycles of birth and death. In the Sit Bardo, the process of choosing a new life highlights the intricate role karma plays in shaping existence. Karma, the cumulative effect of thoughts, actions, and intentions from past lives, acts as a guiding force, pulling the soul toward conditions that resonate with its unresolved tendencies. This interplay of cause and effect is not punitive but an opportunity for growth, offering the soul a chance to confront and transcend the patterns it has cultivated. For those unaware of their attachments, these karmic forces can feel inescapable, like a magnet drawing them into a life filled with similar struggles and emotions. Yet, the Bardo Thodol provides a profound reminder: liberation is always an option. Even at this stage, the soul has the potential to recognize these forces for what they are, manifestations of the mind, and release itself from their grip. The Sit Bardo is often described as a psychic storm, a tumultuous experience of swirling energies, emotions, and visions. These intense forces reflect the soul's inner state, magnified and projected outward. The visions can be overwhelming, often appearing as symbolic representations of the soul's karmic tendencies. For instance, visions of union between beings may represent the soul's drive to seek new life, while other images might echo its fears or desires. At this juncture, maintaining a sense of calm and detachment becomes crucial. The Bardo Thodol advises the soul to focus on the clear light, the ultimate essence of consciousness. By recognizing this light as its true nature, the soul can rise above the storm and avoid the compulsion to reincarnate. This requires deep spiritual training, developed during life, to detach from illusions and maintain clarity amidst chaos. The culmination of the Sit Bardo is the ultimate decision, to transcend the cycle of samsara or to be reborn. For the unprepared soul, the pull toward a new body is nearly inevitable. The emotional and karmic imprints that define its current state act as a mirror, reflecting back the lessons it must still learn. This leads to a rebirth in conditions that align with its unresolved needs, perpetuating the cycle of existence. However, for those who have cultivated awareness and detachment, this stage represents a gateway to freedom. Recognizing the illusory nature of the visions and the emptiness of all forms, the soul can dissolve the boundaries of identity and merge into the clear light. This ultimate realization is the essence of enlightenment, a state where rebirth is no longer necessary, and the soul rests in the infinite peace of its true nature. Preparation for this moment begins in life. Through mindfulness, meditation, and reflection on impermanence, practitioners strengthen their ability to let go of attachments. By doing so, they not only prepare for death, but also transform their lives, fostering a deeper understanding of existence. The teachings of the Bardo Thodol remind us that the journey through the Bardos is not merely about navigating death, but about mastering life itself. In the Sit Bardo, the process of selecting a new life vividly illustrates the profound influence of karma. Karma, the cumulative imprint of thoughts, actions, and intentions from past lives, acts as an unseen force guiding the soul. It draws the soul toward conditions and experiences that reflect its unresolved patterns and tendencies. This dynamic is not a punishment but a chance for growth, a way to confront and ultimately transcend the karmic cycles that shape existence. For most souls, these karmic pulls are irresistible, binding them to repeated cycles of birth and death. However, the Bardo Thodol emphasizes that even in this pivotal moment, liberation remains possible. By cultivating awareness of the mind's projections and recognizing their illusory nature, the soul can break free from these bindings, transcending the karmic forces that otherwise dictate its path. The Sit Bardo is described as an intense and chaotic phase, often likened to a psychic storm. In this state, the soul is bombarded with vivid visions and overwhelming emotions, all amplified by its lack of physical boundaries. These experiences, while daunting, are reflections of the soul's inner landscape. The visions might symbolize karmic lessons yet to be resolved or desires and fears that have accumulated over lifetimes. At this critical juncture, maintaining detachment is key. The Bardo Thodol offers clear guidance. Focus on the clear light, the essence of pure consciousness. This light, representing the soul's true nature, provides an anchor amidst the turbulence. Those who can hold their attention on this light can navigate the storm without being drawn into the illusions and instincts that compel rebirth. The ultimate challenge of the Sit Bardo is the choice between transcendence and rebirth. For the unprepared soul, the pull toward a new existence is nearly impossible to resist. This pull is not a conscious decision, but a deeply ingrained response driven by karmic imprints. The soul gravitates toward conditions that mirror its unresolved lessons, resulting in a rebirth shaped by its accumulated experiences and emotions. For spiritually prepared individuals, however, this moment represents a gateway to freedom. By recognizing the illusory nature of the visions and understanding the emptiness of all phenomena, they can dissolve their attachments and merge into the clear light. This realization leads to enlightenment, where rebirth becomes unnecessary, and the soul attains a state of ultimate peace and liberation. Preparation for this profound choice begins during life. Through mindfulness practices, meditation, and contemplation of impermanence, individuals can strengthen their ability to let go of attachments and illusions. By doing so, they not only prepare for the challenges of the Bardos, but also transform their approach to life itself, living with greater awareness and purpose. The teachings of the Bardo Thodol remind us that the journey through death is inseparable from the journey through life. Mastering one means understanding the other, revealing the ultimate truth that liberation lies in embracing the clarity and light of our true nature. The Sit Bardo encapsulates the profound duality of existence, the pull of samsara, the cycle of rebirth and suffering, and the promise of nirvana, the state of ultimate liberation. This stage is not merely about choosing a new life. It's about facing the essence of one's being. For most souls, the forces of attachment, fear, and unfulfilled desires become insurmountable, steering them toward another turn of the wheel of existence. Yet, the teachings of the Bardo Thodol remind us that liberation is always within reach, even in the most chaotic moments. For the spiritually prepared, the Sit Bardo represents a rare and extraordinary opportunity. By recognizing that all visions, emotions, and compulsions are the mind's creations, one can rise above the illusions of identity and form. In doing so, the soul ceases to be bound by karma, entering the clear light and transcending the dualities of life and death. The ability to navigate the Sit Bardo with awareness is not something that comes by chance. It requires preparation during life. The Bardo Thodol emphasizes the importance of spiritual training to cultivate detachment and clarity. Practices such as meditation, mindfulness, and contemplating the impermanent nature of reality build the mental strength necessary to face the intense visions of the Bardos. Through these practices, the soul becomes accustomed to observing the mind's projections without becoming attached to them. When the time comes to confront the psychic storm of the Sit Bardo, the trained practitioner can remain centered, recognizing the clear light as their essence and avoiding the pull of rebirth. This preparation transforms death from a moment of fear into an opportunity for liberation. The teachings of the Sit Bardo extend beyond the moment of death, offering profound insights into the nature of life itself. The cycle of rebirth mirrors the patterns we live every day, as we are drawn to desires, attachments, and fears that shape our reality. By understanding these tendencies and working to transcend them, we not only prepare for death, but also learn to live more fully and consciously. The Bardo Thodol reminds us that life and death are not separate but interconnected phases of existence. The choices we make now, the clarity we cultivate, and the attachments we overcome all contribute to our ability to navigate the Bardos. In this way, the journey of the soul becomes a continuous path of growth and understanding, moving ever closer to the ultimate truth. In the end, the Sit Bardo teaches that liberation is not a distant ideal but a possibility inherent in every moment. By embracing the lessons of impermanence, detachment, and mindfulness, we can transform the way we approach life, death, and the cycles of rebirth. The journey is not just about transcending samsara. It is about realizing the infinite potential of the soul and the boundless peace of the clear light. The Sit Bardo ultimately reveals a fundamental truth. The The barriers to liberation are not external, but lie within the soul's own mind. The visions, emotions, and attachments that arise are reflections of the soul's inner state, magnified by the intensity of the Bardo experience. These projections are neither rewards nor punishments but opportunities for understanding and transcendence. Each vision serves as a mirror, asking the soul to recognize its own nature and the emptiness of all phenomena. For the unprepared, these experiences can be overwhelming. The pull of familiar patterns, attachments, and fears often leads to a new cycle of rebirth. However, those who approach this stage with awareness have the chance to break free from samsara, dissolving the illusions that bind them and merging with the clear light, the pure, unconditional essence of being. The teachings of the Bardo Thodol emphasize that liberation is not achieved in a single moment, but is the culmination of a lifetime of spiritual practice. By preparing the mind during life, one develops the ability to face the Bardos with clarity and detachment. Practices like meditation and reflection on impermanence help to loosen the grip of attachments, enabling the soul to navigate the challenges of the Sit Bardo with calm and focus. For those who have cultivated mindfulness, the Sit Bardo becomes less of a trial and more of an opportunity. The visions lose their power to frighten or seduce, and the soul can remain centered in the awareness of its true nature. This state of clarity allows the soul to recognize the clear light as its essence and move beyond the illusions of rebirth. The teachings of the Sit Bardo remind us that every soul carries the potential for liberation. The journey through the Bardos, while challenging, is also a process of revelation. It strips away the layers of illusion and conditioning, bringing the soul face to face with its true self. The choice to transcend samsara or to be reborn is not imposed by external forces but emerges from the soul's own readiness and understanding. In this way, the Sit Bardo is not just a stage of transition. It is a profound spiritual test. It calls upon the soul to confront its deepest fears and attachments, to see through the veils of illusion, and to embrace the boundless peace of the clear light. For those who succeed, liberation is not an abstract concept but a lived reality, free from the cycles of birth and death. The Bardo Thodol reminds us that the seeds of this liberation are planted in life. Every moment of mindfulness, every act of compassion, and every step toward understanding brings us closer to the ultimate freedom. By preparing now, we not only transform our experience of death, but also enrich the quality of our lives, living with greater awareness, purpose, and peace. The wisdom of the Bardo Thodol teaches that the journey through the Bardos is not an isolated event, but an extension of the life we live. Each choice we make, each attachment we cultivate, and every moment of clarity or confusion directly shapes our experience in these transitional states. Life is the training ground where we prepare the mind to navigate the intense visions and challenges of death and rebirth. Daily mindfulness and contemplation of impermanence allow us to weaken the grip of desires and fears. By observing our thoughts and emotions without clinging to them, we learn to detach from the illusions that keep us bound to samsara. This mental discipline becomes a vital tool in the Bardos, where the mind's projections become amplified, and the ability to remain calm and unattached determines whether we transcend or continue the cycle of rebirth. The clear light, often described as a radiant, infinite presence,